I have what I need to say. I have an idea, and I can, if I get stuck, I have them there. I have a system that fits me. So I don't look traditionally autistic, but get me outside of a room, outside of this room, outside of the safe space, say, for example, on a trip to the US, which I've just come back from, and I'm a very different, quiet person.
Hey there, peeps. This is Michelle Nedelak. Thank you for listening to the show. I would love if you could give us your opinion on how you felt about the show, your experience that you have in regards to what we've been talking about. I am having an absolute blast, but your input is like dynamite on that explosion. So give us your input. We'd love to hear from you. Any questions, comments, concerns? Give us everything you got. We love it. Thanks. I hope you're having an awesome day. Welcome to the Business Ownership Podcast, brought to you by Awareness Strategies, helping you navigate the waters between entrepreneurship and ownership. Hey there, peeps. This is Michelle Nedelak, and I am super glad that you're here with us today because I am here with my most amazing guest, Jonathan. Jonathan, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me. Super excited.
Awesome. So give us a 5,000-foot view of who you are and what you love to do.
So I'm Jonathan Stewart. I am the simplicity specialist. I work with fast-thinking business owners to create systems that actually start from them instead of the other way around. So they end up actually having fun in their business instead of thinking, what am I doing? Why have I started my own business? What is
you can have fun.
You can have fun in there. There's nothing wrong with me by having fun in my business. Outside of my business world, I live in the UK with my partner and my 2 kids. We are all wonderfully neurodivergent. I'm autistic. And so that means I have to figure out different ways to do everything. When I started my business, I tried to follow what everybody else told me to do, and it just didn't work. So I went deep and nerdy, completely hyper-fixating on all things psychology, neuro, lovely stuff, to be an absolute nerd so I can learn how to make my life fit around me and create how it works for me. And outside of that, I used to be a music teacher. I used to teach guitar and I sing and lots of other creative things that take me outside of the systems and techie pieces that I do as well. So yeah, that's me.
Super fun. So how did you get into systems of all things?
It was purely because I had no choice. I wanted to start with, I wanted to create my own business, but I was constantly moving from place to place and I couldn't figure out, and I kept asking, how do you stay organized? How do you how do you keep yourself going? How do you do this? How do you do that? And no matter what tools I used, Asana, Trello, all of the apps in the world, I really could not figure out one that fit me. So I was like, okay, guess there's something wrong with me. Guess that I'm not doing it right. And maybe I shouldn't even be an entrepreneur. Maybe I should just go back into a normal job. And then I discovered a particular tool that really fit me, and not just fit me, but allowed me to figure out more about how I worked, a tool called Notion. And it really brought to life that actually I can build things that start from me. And so bringing my creative flair from when I used to teach guitar all the way to the end, I just stayed with the philosophy that it starts from me, from the individual there, because that's the one thing that exists no matter what you do.
Awesome. I love it. And I can't express how common it is for entrepreneurs to take it personally when things aren't working, that they think that it's them and they're not the ones capable of doing things. And it's so sad to me because everybody goes through it. It's like, you don't have to. All we have to do is make it public that it's okay for things to not work for you, because it just means you're looking in the wrong direction and there is something totally perfect for you in the way things are going. And it usually comes with, as you say, doing what other people tell you to do, as opposed to going, hey, what do I really want to be doing? And how do I want this to work?
Yeah.
Very
absolutely.
Cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. So talk to me about the systems that you're using and how you, what does it look like when somebody's working with you? And 20 million questions in there. Start wherever you want.
Thank you. I loved every single one of those questions. Let me just try and put them in order. Okay, we'll start where we go. Yeah, it was very much, people start with me by going from the top. What do they have already? What is the context that they're actually existing in? Often people start from the tech end of oh, well, I want to use Notion or Trello. I want to use these apps and help me to use these apps. So I actually flip the script and go the other way and start with them. So what is the context that you're actually existing within? And we do that through a combination of like coaching and consulting. I don't put myself in boxes. That's why I am just a simplicity specialist, because that is so complicated. We talk about where they are now, what they want to do, and like what they want and where they are now. When you combine those two pieces together, you get action. Action comes from when you know what you want and you have the context around you, the environment that you have around you, what's happening in your life, whether it is that you've got kids and you need to have a system that fits around your family life, or whether it's the fact that, you know, you have all the time in the world and you can be super early and super productive, which is often not the people who work with me. It's about creating the context first and then having like that understanding of how you work. It means that action just happens randomly. It's beautiful.
I love it. Well, and you say not usually to people who work with you. I'm picturing that it's going to be a lot of ADD entrepreneurs and a lot of, hey, I've got this hot mess going on. What do I do with that? Who do you love to serve and support? Who's your ideal client?
I love working with clients who are like on the brink of almost giving up. They're like, I am just completely and utterly lost. I have to get my systems in order. I have to sort my out. I've got to do something now, otherwise I'm in trouble. And just that moment, the moment that I love and the moment that just gets me excited to wake up every day is that moment where they're like, wait, I can just do it my way. And I'm like, yeah. And here is the things you need to do it the way that fits you based on what you've told me. And it's just that often, especially in the business space, there are a lot of people telling you how to be and not a lot saying, hey, where are you? Let's go together. So working with those kinds of entrepreneurs and business owners, ADHD, people who just don't fit the traditional way of working. I work with them and it's amazing how much progress they can make just from a couple of sessions, a couple of conversations. It's like one of my clients said it's like a permission slip to be themselves. And then the tools and the systems and all the other pieces just are like, here, done, enjoy. And they're like, wow, I am no longer a technophobe. I'm not scared of tech because it fits me and it fits my brain. And it's like, yes, it's not you, it's the tools, it's the way you've been told to behave.
Nice. I love that. So give us an example of one of your Cinderella stories. One of your ideal or clients that went from kind of where they were at, the hot mess, to.
Yeah. So one of my clients has a copywriting agency, and she had just had a rather rough time with an OBM, and she was trying to scale and grow and couldn't quite get there. She is incredibly fast thinking. She works at an alarming rate, and sometimes I learn psychology things off of her. But when it came to actually getting her systems in a way that fit her so that she didn't have to be constantly in there, like all the time, dotting I's and crossing T's, the thing that brings to mind is one of the things she was there like, I want to spend more time on my garden. I have this wonderful allotment and I want to be out in the garden. I don't want to be sat in here doing X, Y, Z and sending emails and stuff like that. I said, okay, well then it goes on your task list. Get outside. And the change from that, and I think, I don't remember the numbers exactly, but she doubled, tripled her revenue just from spending more time with her. It sounds super simple, and it is.
Nice. I love that. And it sounds super contradictory too to a lot of people, thinking that because they're spending time in the garden that they're going to be more productive at work. But it's so true. It really does
absolutely
work that way.
Yeah, absolutely. It is one of those things that you just don't realize it. And it's so like the exact opposite of what you think you should do, which is always fun.
Awesome. I love it. Well, and I'm fascinated when you say I have autism, because clearly to me, you don't sound like nothing is hitting my radar to go, hey, there's something unique over here that warrants some attention or, special handling, like that's not hitting my radar. So talk to me about that, because it fascinates me and delights me. How does it affect you? How do you work with it? All that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, so how it affects me is I'm in my room right now, in my own special space, in my own special studio. So I can be fully me, but get me outside that front door, and I am a very, very different person. You're talking to me about things that I love and I'm passionate and excited about. Go outside of that conversation and I am almost silent.
Wow.
And I get so overwhelmed incredibly quickly. The only reason I'm able to have a conversation right now is because I knew how I worked, and I have notes to the left of me. There's my secret. It's like I have what I need to say. I have an idea, and I can, if I get stuck, I have them there. I have a system that fits me. So I don't look traditionally autistic, but get me outside of a room, outside of this room, outside of the safe space, say, for example, on a trip to the US, which I've just come back from, and I'm a very different, quiet person.
Well, that kind of describes everybody, that when they, or so many people I know, should I say, is, when you're talking about the thing that you love to talk about, it's super easy to be animated and excited and interactive and doing the thing. And then you take that exact same person, throw them in a networking event, and all of a sudden they're wouldn't say anything if their life depended on it.
It's also just the simple daily tasks that most people take for granted. Those are the things that I find the hardest. Those are the finding those key points when you're supposed to talk and when you're supposed to shut up, and all of those things. I have trained myself to fit into that box just enough so it looks like I'm completely quote unquote neurotypical. And then the moment people get to know me, they're like, oh wow, you really didn't know that? No, I didn't.
Well, they just call me filterless. I don't know when to say the right thing. just my head pops out.
Yeah, people get used to me very quickly when I'm just saying the wrong thing at the wrong time, and they're like, you do realize that was incredibly offensive? Oh, was it?
Oh, sorry you took it that way.
Sorry. And I don't realize. And the fun thing is that the interesting thing is I have the exact opposite. I care so damn deeply about everyone I work with. Like, it is to a point of sometimes a bad thing, as people have told me in the past, but I just care so intently. And my plan is, and not a marketing nonsense BS thing here, genuinely my client success, I am just obsessed with helping them get where they want to go, because they don't have to sit in this place, because it's such a lonely, like, being an entrepreneur can be so lonely. Lonely.
And that's why I started podcasts. Yeah, trust me, I get it. It was not a happy place in our house before I started the podcast, going, okay, it's me, myself, and I sitting here staring at a computer for what turned into about 16 hours a day, which had never happened before. It's like, I do not work 16 hours a day. I do not work 5 days a week. I don't, this is not who I am. So I totally get that. And the podcasting, I love it because I get to talk to you in the UK, and, later on this afternoon, I'm going to talk to somebody else in Sydney, Australia, and everywhere in between. It's awesome. And it's super fun. So, and to your point, it was being able to recognize kind of the system is broke. Mom is not happy, and mom is not happy. Nobody's happy. So we got to change some shit. I fired myself from my job and, got verbal and started talking to people.
Yeah. And it is, so I've been listening to some of your episodes, and I'm just like, yes, this is so nice. You had conversations about people being themselves and like bringing their own magic to forward, and I'm just like, yes. And the question, I loved it. And I can really see from like just listening to you in your element of where you are and working in a way that fits you. It's so cool. I love it.
Nice. I love it. So tell me some of the most interesting things, in your opinion, that you've discovered in psychology.
Oh, you've opened that one. Yeah. So
there's Pandora's box. They're just opening.
You have opened Pandora's box. So one of the things that I'm really fascinated with right now is a concept called ecological dynamics. Now, this is a massive theory which I am going to butcher and get told off by my co-host of my podcast, because he's gonna be like, no, you missed and said that. And I'm just like, I don't care, I love this. And it's
You go,
around like
baby, you
the
go.
relationship between like perception and what we see and action. And like the thought is, traditional theory of mental models is like, you have this coming in, you do this, you do that, and it's in and then it's out. When really they believe, and to be honest, so do I, it's like it's more complicated than that. We have a relationship with the environment that we're in. In this environment we're in right now, I am aware of different constraints. I cannot move my arms quite as much as I normally would or move around. I am aware of these constraints that are there that allow me to be just enough to keep going and then coming back again and just making sure that I'm talking and projecting my voice. And these things happen because I can see the environment that I'm in. And perception and action are linked, not separate. So when you see something, it's like it's coming towards you. You have to adapt to the environment that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is just like, yes, that makes perfect sense. It's not as simple as a 1, 2, 3. You don't grab information from nowhere. The information comes from within the environment that you're in. And there is this concept called extended cognition, which is what I use with my clients, of like, it is taking what's already here and bringing it out into the environment that they're in, so that they're not constantly in here going, oh yes, I need to make sure I prepare for this podcast that I'm doing. So what do I need to do? Oh, I need to do this. Oh, hang on. What order do I put that in? Instead, it's like taking it from here and bringing it out of my hunk of meat, because it's not a computer. Our brains are not computers. A long time ago, what is actually seen? Our brains are seen as things that is like the most advanced thing that exists in technology. So a long time ago, our brains were compared to like a water pump, because it was the most advanced thing seen at the time. And I find that fascinating, that often we believe our minds are like computers when they're not. They're hunks of meat. And the idea is that you need to use the environment around you to support that. And so that's what I do with every single one of my systems for clients. It's just an extension of them. It's an extension of how they work. It's classes extended cognition. And me using my hands is an expression of that, because I'm very handy and moving hands around all the time. That's me extending to the fingertips so that I can express what I'm saying and how I'm feeling. It's a form of extended cognition. And just being able to slowly understand that. And I could keep going and going and going around things like dynamical systems theory, of like, instead of it being one thing and you put yourself in a box, everything connects in some form and way of working. I am a system. This conversation we're having is a system, and there are different constraints that stop us. Like, we're not in person, so I can't lean towards you. We're on a Zoom call, and then that allows me to be moving around in different ways, or I react differently. And those different things just, it fascinates me and excites me, and it's just like, yes.
Nice. I love it. And it's so true. One of the concepts that I developed, well, we call it success therapy, and being able to get to the root cause of a person's trauma, I went, okay, this is ridiculous. Our brains have to work like a computer, because we can't invent anything that doesn't already exist. Therefore, your brain has to work like a computer times 8 billion or whatever it is. But the premise is still the same. So if we're operating on if-then statements, like you do in computer programming, then we have to run off of if-then statements, and we have to be able to go back into the programming and be able to rewrite, render. And so I just took those premises of how you change computer code, adapted it to people, and then level up, poof, it works, of course. And that was thrilling and exciting. And one of the things that fascinates me is the optical illusions that people create, both in art and computers, where you're looking at something, you swear to God you're looking at something, and then you walk to the other side of the room and it's totally different. And to me, that whole concept you can bring into life, business, work, etc., and understand that what you see is only from that angle. And as soon as you walk to the left or the right, that thing itself changes, and therefore the way you operate within that thing changes.
Yeah, that is exactly an exact example of perception and action, like that coupling, the togetherness of that. Is like, as your environment changes, things change. And this all comes from like sports. sports coaching, which I am not a sporty person. I'm a musician. I work in the exact opposite way around. But
You still have
bringing
to
that,
play with the fingers and the sound and everything.
yeah, but we're way more
Yes.
creative.
Yes, you are.
I mean, no offense.
They would not argue that, I'm sure.
No, probably not. And it's one of the things that I'm trying to do with my work is bring in some of the, because sports coaching and the research that is done in sports coaching is way ahead of the curve. Is like far ahead of the curve than anything in business and anything in like teaching and everything. And so what my hope is to bring some of that to business now, instead of like in 5 to 10 years time, to help people learn how they work and create something that fits them. And that excites me.
Nice. I love that. So you've already gone over some of the stumbling blocks that somebody would have if they were they want to work with you. Their next stage is go and work with Jonathan because he's going to help you organize this whole thing. It's going to be, the clouds part, the angels sing, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, this is awesome. So I know our listeners are going to want more from you. How do they start that journey?
Yeah, so the best place to start is actually to take my quiz, which is the Way You Work quiz, which helps you to figure out like where you stand, where you start from. And it provides 4 main traits that you work through, which is perfectionist over performer, pondering rebel, committed creative, and generative producer. And then
Those are awesome. Hold on, slow down, back up. Those were awesome. Say them nice and slow so everybody gets it.
Perfectionist over performer, that's me. Pondering rebel,
awesome.
Committed creative, generative producer. And those are the 4 main traits. Then there are 2 kind of secondary traits that we all have, and that is a controlled minimalist. And then we have a continual optimizer. Those are people who are constantly trying to change things. And then you have the minimalist who are like, I want as little as possible. I want as little as possible. So yeah, take the quiz, find out which traits you fit, and start from there.
Awesome. I am excited to do so. Do we just go off your website? How do we get there?
Yeah, simplicity-specialist.com/quiz.
Nice. simplicityspecialist.com/quiz. And of course, links will be in the show notes. That is awesome. Excellent. I have to ask you, Jonathan, at what point in life did you know that you were a special kind of crazy enough to think that you could become an entrepreneur?
I think I always knew. I tried to do it normally. Never worked.
Right? Normal is so overrated. I don't understand the draw to it. I really don't.
Yeah, no,
awesome. What was your first business?
My first business was as a peripatetic guitar teacher in this same room.
Awesome.
I used to teach kids how to play guitar, and I think everything I do now genuinely stems all the way back from there, because it was around, what do you actually want to learn, instead of concentrating on the scales and the theoretical stuff. It's very much like, where do you want to start, and starting from them.
Oh, fun. I like that. Awesome. And in business, we often will, have these mistakes, errors, fall flat on our face, skid mark things. Are there any mistakes that you made that you thought were quite funny?
Oh, how long you got? Not very long.
We got all the time you want, baby.
Yeah, I think one of the
That's a tough one. I'm kind of throwing you under the bus on that one.
I love that one. That's a thinker. That's a thinker. Basically every single day. To be fair, I still make those mistakes.
And as long as you're laughing at yourself at the end of the day, it's a good day.
There's no other choice.
Right? That's awesome. That in itself is a great answer and true. Jonathan, you have been absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it and immensely. Any last words for our peeps?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to perhaps speaking to some of you. It'd be great to chat. And yeah, thank you very much. Start from you. Don't just listen to what everyone else tells you.
Awesome. Go check out the quiz because That's where I'll be going right now. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, do that too.
Yeah. Peeps, this is Michelle Nedelec. Thank you for being here with us today. Be sure to subscribe to the show. You can rate us. I like 5s. And if you're looking to scale and automate your business, reach out to me at michelle@awarenessstrategies.com or connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook. I'd love to hear from you.
Are you running a business over 7 figures but still struggling with technology headaches? Pay attention, you do not want to miss this offer. This podcast episode is brought to you by Awareness Strategies, who is offering a custom-built digital adoption roadmap for anyone running a business over 7 figures who's wanting to grow their business in the next 5 years. And it's not just a roadmap, they offer full implementation as well if that scares the out of you. Check out awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap for more details today. The link's in the show's notes. Don't regret not doing this. Do it now. That's awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap.